Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski. A lot of people call me Grizzer, and this is where we get you caught up on the latest news and tidbits that involves our favorite team, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, subscribed to the channel, become members of the Browns Latest Talk Pound, and get your comments down there in the viewer comments. I cannot thank you enough, because not only do we get you caught up on the news tied to the Cleveland Browns, but we also provide you our takes, not just mine, but yours, and they usually come via the viewer comments. Sometimes I get a text or something from a friend, and I'll include it, but generally the viewer comments. Now, on to today's show, the Browns. How about this? Getting a little extra help as we prepare our two rookie quarterbacks for the New England Patriots game on Sunday. Did Tua Tagovailoa expose why Dillon Gabriel will be nothing more than a backup quarterback in the NFL? An NFL insider confirms if the Browns will be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. And down in the viewer comments, the real reason Shedeur Sanders is not getting any QB1 reps. What? No reps with the first team? And now we know why? All right. Can't wait to get down there and find out what is going on. Man, we always learn so much in the viewer comments. It's great. But first, some Browns and Pats headlines. New England coming at us. Not like a spider monkey in Talladega Nights. No, not like that. They're coming at us with that top 2 run defense is what they're coming at us with. So, good news is we're sort of back to full strength. Ethan Posick wasn't out there yesterday, but Conklin, Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, and his sore knee, they were all back. So it looks like we're heading towards, got to see what's going on with Posick. But other than that, everybody else seems to be okay. Bubba Ventrone, our illustrious special teams coordinator, was talking about how hard it is to kick at Gillette Stadium in New England. He said the weather's never good there. So I did a quick, and I'm going to do a deeper dive into this for another show, but I did a quick check. What are the toughest places to kick? Gillette wasn't even on the list, so I don't know where he's getting his information. But the top 3, and get ready, hold on to your seats: Chicago, Buffalo, and the land. Cleveland. We're third on the list. How do you like them apples? So my point to that was, okay, well, if we kick at our stadium, then we should be able to kick in any stadium. It should be easier on the road. So Ventrone already trying to make excuses for Holy Schmidt. Don't do it. It's not a tough place to kick, according to my list. So there. I think Tommy Reese was next up on the mic. And they're like, so Tommy, when are you going to take the reins off of Dillon Gabriel? And Tommy's answer? Oh, he says, well, dry weather would help, again, with the excuses. He said a dry day would help. Just got to put him in the right position during the week to make sure he has confidence in those plays. He wasn't trigger shy in camp. We just have to give him those opportunities. So he wasn't trigger shy in camp, but they're not giving him the opportunities now. This whole quarterback development thing is really, I should have kept a track of, because every week there is a dominant theme with this team that just overshadows the game. There's always something. One week it's the trades. One week it's this, it's that, it's the, oh my gosh. This week, your backup quarterback doesn't get any run with the ones. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. But here's the good news, which is not good news. Reese also said that Bailey Zappi and Deshaun Watson are very helpful with Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. This is the scariest quote you're going to hear all day. Reese said Watson's relationship with Dillon Gabriel has been really positive. He goes out of his way to help him walk through some coverages, talk through things like that. Unless Watson is teaching him how to airmail throws and throw worm burners, I don't know how much value he's going to add because Watson can't read a defense. This is just the whole situation is a mess. Now, might I remind you that how do you have your backup quarterback doesn't get any reps with the starters, like ever? Let's refresh your memory. Kevin Stefanski. It's different when you have a veteran starter. So he's blaming it on Flacco. Well, when Flacco was there, we had to give Dillon Gabriel because Flacco you get tired and, you want to sit down in his rocking chair. I don't know. Excuses. The rookie starter, you want to give him all the reps. But Shedeur still gets reps in a bunch of periods. And the thing about that last part of this quote is that Reese doubled down on it. He's like, oh, yeah, the whole building's involved. Everybody's involved. Oh, my gosh, we got the cleaning people. I mean, Jesus, the guy who wipes down the goalpost. He's helping out with Shedeur. Like, yeah, oh, yeah, they line up. They play like flag football and stuff. What are we doing? The whole building's involved. It just doesn't make any sense how we're doing this. I would love to take a poll. I can imagine if you polled all the NFL coaches, like, is this a good way to develop? Or how about, let's start here. Would you put yourself in this situation in the first place? Even like more, like you listen, anywhere, listen to people talk, turn on the radio, anything. Nobody thinks Dillon Gabriel is going to be an elite quarterback in this league. Nobody. And somebody else who just doubled down on that, just like Reese doubled down on Stefanski and we got to give all the reps to Dillon Gabriel. Tua Tagovailoa. Did you hear this? He basically put the rubber stamp, boom, backup quarterback on Dillon Gabriel. At best, backup at best, stamp, boom, on Dillon Gabriel. Gabriel came off the assembly line, and Tua was right there and went, boom. How? Why? Well, because Tua admitted he's too short to see downfield. Here is the quote. And keep this in mind, folks, as I read this to you. Tua is 6'1". Our guy, maybe 5'11". Maybe. But here's what Tua said. He said, I think with that, some of it has to do with this. They asked him why wasn't he getting the ball to Waddle? Like you're playing the Browns and, you're like, why couldn't you throw the ball to Waddle? And he says, I think with that, some of it has to do with being able to see guys, with their guys also up front and our guys. I'm not the tallest guy in the world back there. So being able to see, and then sometimes when that happens, you don't just want to throw it blindly. And you got to progress. So I think that it has some merit to reasons as to why that happened for Waddle. So basically, what Tua is saying is that he didn't target Jalen Waddle because he couldn't see over the offensive line and our defensive line. That's what he's saying. He's 6'1". Our guy's 5'11". We took our guy in the third round. Everybody said, why are you doing that? And here we are. Nobody is ever going to understand what is going on. And this starts and ends with Stefanski and this whole thing. It is just a complete and utter mess. The whole thing. You don't give your backup any run with the ones. How was he? I don't know. No snaps with the first team center. Nothing. Like all of that stuff matters. And like I said, where I come from, you give your guy at least a few plays at practice, just so everybody knows what they're doing. And here's the other thing. The other reason why you want to be doing that, that is a completely different quarterback. You're going to go from short left-handed quarterback to taller right-handed quarterback who can sling it. You don't think your receivers, your tight ends, your backs, you don't think they should work with that a little bit periodically just in case he has to go in? Like, what is the plan here? Unbelievable. It just, the deeper we get into this, the less it makes sense. I'm sure Flacco is probably like, thank God I'm out of there. Jeez, oh man. Newsom's probably saying the same thing. And he's in Florida where it's warm. So, unbelievable with this. It just, you can't make it up. You just can't make it up. You also can't make up the fact that the trade deadline is looming. You also can't make up that the Browns probably going to do something either before or at the trade deadline. I think Njoku will be gone. But Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot says the Browns will be buying and not selling. And I don't see why. I don't see how. I don't see why. Because here's the other thing she says. She goes, they're not going to buy. They're not looking for big names. They're not looking for any good players. They're going to be at big lots like normal. And it's like they're going to look for people like Tyson Campbell, try and find that diamond in the rough, because that's all we ever do. See Cam Robinson. We don't ever trade for good people, good players. We just look for, we go to the bargain bin and we start digging around in there. That's what we do. We go to the flea market to find our players when it comes to free agency. But I do think they're not paying Njoku. Njoku's in the same situation as Newsom was. They are not paying Njoku. They had to pull back on that. I'm sure Barry was working the phones, but then Njoku got hurt. Now he's back. Keep your eye on that. I'm calling it here right now. Njoku will be gone, either at or before the trade deadline. But the other thing that was brought up with Mary Kay is she said they would also, they're going to target wide receiver, but I just told you, stop thinking about Garrett Wilson. Stop thinking about Olave. Stop. Start thinking about like the number 4 wide receiver on the Carolina Panthers or maybe the Jets. Think about like the 4 or 5 receiver on the Jets. That's who we're going to trade for. But the other area of interest, according to Mary Kay, is defensive end. Try and get Myles Garrett some pass rush help. I'm like, what happened to Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire? Like, I thought we had that handled. Alex Collins, Malik Collins has been playing well too, and Mason Graham been getting that push up front. But I don't know. Now apparently we're gonna look for positions that I didn't think we needed. So, but I mean, it's Baranski. This is what they're smartest guy in the room. Smartest guy in the room every time. But that's where we're at with the trade deadline. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. The Browns apparently going to be buying some wide receivers and some defensive ends. We shall see. Now, one thing that is never on the block, of course, viewer comments. And we'll start today with James Searle 5. Be cool if it was James Earl Jones, but we get the watered down version. We get James Searle 5, who says, unless Dillon Gabriel proves that he can throw downfield or Shedeur Sanders is playing, what we need, we have to have better wide receivers. Yes. Well, Judy, can you imagine going into that game? I mean, say what you want about Judy, but I mean, he is essentially the best you got at this point. Can you imagine going in without him? There'd be no deep threat whatsoever. Well, no, Bond. We have Bond. If they don't dial stuff up for Bond this week, I mean, come on. You got it. You got it. So he's going to have to throw the ball and he's going to have to stretch the field because we are going to have a tough time running on this team come Sunday. Jeremy Simmons, 1189 says, this game will determine how well Dillon Gabriel can read defenses and how soon Shedeur will play. Now, we did hear that Shedeur is penciled in for the last 4 games of the year, depending on how the games in front of those 4 games go. But it could be sooner if Dillon Gabriel got hurt. I also think it should be sooner if Dillon Gabriel just isn't progressing. Now, the problem, though, is Kevin Stefanski. This is his hand. He handpicked Dillon Gabriel. This is his teacher's pet. This is the teacher's pet. Long leash, super long leash. And they got him in bubble wrap. You could see it with the play calls. Bubble wrap play calls, long leash. So it is what it is. This is a password, not a YouTube handle, at RVS360 says, you know what? You want to know why Shedeur Sanders isn't getting any reps with the starters? This is what we teased at the top. RVS360 says, the reason Shedeur Sanders is not getting any reps with the starters is because if Shedeur Sanders was to get reps and outperform Dillon Gabriel, then Stefanski would look even more like an idiot for not starting Shedeur Sanders. If the first team starters were to clearly see that Shedeur Sanders is better than Dillon Gabriel, this could start a rift between the starters and Stefanski, in my honest opinion. And when I read that, I thought, I don't think he's wrong. I think that's part of it. And when we may already have that rift with Barry and Stefanski. If all signs point to Barry wanting Shedeur and Stefanski not wanting Shedeur and Barry taking him anyway, I think Haslam. Now, did you see this picture of Haslam and his grandsons? There was a picture and it was going around on social media. Allegedly his grandsons were with him and they're wearing Shedeur Sanders jerseys. I saw the image, but it's, until I find out that it's confirmed, they are allegedly his grandsons. If this is true and the owner's sons are wearing Shedeur jerseys at the game on the sideline with the owner, that tells me Shedeur Sanders is going to get to play. And I think the owner would be on board with that. But there's some truth to that, RVS 360. Like, if he goes out there and starts balling out, what are you going to do? Are the starters be looking around like, Coach, what are you doing? Why are we going with the Tua 2.0 here? Didn't you hear Tua 1? Tua 1 said he's not even tall enough to play in the league. We got the second version. It's smaller. It's like how cell phones started out. Remember they used to be big and then now, they're like down to here. Like, that's what we got. We got the small version. It's a supercomputer, just like your phone, right? Just, it's a supercomputer and a lot smaller thing. But the problem is this isn't better. Smaller isn't better in this case. Good with cell phones because you fit them in your pocket now and stuff like that. But not if you need to see over linemen that are 6'8". This doesn't work. Great take, RVS. Dante 4423 says, it would be a blessing and a curse if the Browns end up 5-6 after the cake stretch of the schedule. If the offensive line can find a rhythm, maybe 7 to 8 wins is possible the way the defense is playing. Dante 4423, you're talking to the guy that bet him over 6 wins. I've been saying this since the summertime. I believe when I looked at that schedule, 7 to 8 wins, and man, if we didn't screw up that Minnesota game and Schmidt didn't kick the Schmidt out of that ball and miss, like, man, we'd already be sitting right there. So I agree. I mean, if things fall into place, you got a good game manager. But I don't know, man. I want to see Shedeur. That's right. Everybody does. Everybody wants to see Shedeur. Bottom line. At J2 times says, Browns 28, Patriots 17. Is the predictor pen getting into the viewer comments? Is it moonlighting on me? What? I thought it only worked on Saturdays. Apparently, goes by the name at J2 times on YouTube. The predictor pen. Browns 28, Patriots 17. We'll see what the real predictor pen says tomorrow. But I like the way I don't think it. I think it's gonna. I was thinking more like 8-6 J2 times. But if you got the Browns scoring 28 points against the Patriots in Gillette Stadium, which a place we've never won, more power to you. And we gotta go. Hey, we gotta run it back with VI Born and Bred, because he wrote back. And he said, you got it, Grizzer. VI is Virgin Islands. So how about that? VI Born and Bred watching in the warm Virgin Islands. I just watched the House Hunters the other day. They were looking for a house in the Virgin Islands. I was like, that place is so nice. I have not been there. I've been to Cayman Island, but not the Virgin Islands yet. I have to go. Gotta go visit VI. Go see VI Born and Bred. Go hang out and talk about the Browns. All right, thanks for watching, everybody around the world. Australia, the Virgin Islands, everywhere. Please, if you are watching around the world, please throw it in the comments. I like to take them and put them in my story and stuff like that. I love hearing where people are watching. All right. Whoa, boy. Tomorrow, predictor pen. And then Sunday game. These weeks go by so fast. It's crazy. All right. More Browns talk tomorrow. Go Browns! We'll see you next time.